I'm an ordinary Moscow student. That day I returned to my dormitory quite late. I opened the shabby door and, turning on the light, saw the picture I see every day. An old Soviet bed with springs sticking out, a nightstand, apparently also from the USSR, and a huge carpet on the wall. I'd been meaning to take it down for a long time, but I hadn't dared. I didn't want to do my homework, although there was a lot of it. Throwing my briefcase on the floor, I sat down at the computer, put the kettle on the stove, and started the movie. I woke up around 12 o'clock in the morning. I could see a street lamp from the window, which illuminated almost the entire room. I reluctantly got up from the chair and lay down on the bed. Almost immediately, I fell asleep. I had a strange dream. I'm lying in my bed and something tall enters the room. It walks up to me and just stands there looking at me. I woke up in a cold sweat and looked around. There was no one in the room, but there was a strange feeling. It felt like someone was looking at me. I didn't sleep again that night. The next day, I was almost kicked out of the university for truancy and uncompleted homework. I was walking back to the dormitory through the old slums. Somewhere I could hear dogs barking, somewhere men talking. The street was poorly lit, you could hardly see anything. Suddenly, I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around but saw nothing. I walked faster, but the footsteps behind me became more and more frequent. I realized that something was wrong and I ran as fast as I could. Someone was running after me. I could hear it. I reached the dormitory and looked back. A tall, thin man was standing there. He was wearing a knee-length coat, a hat, black jeans, and black boots. His face was hidden by a clown mask. Extremely frightened, he screamed throughout the street. Some of the windows on the first floor lit up. The strange figure quickly walked out of the dormitory door in an unknown direction. She ran into her room and locked the door with a key. I stepped away from her and sat on my bed. I was in complete shock at everything that was happening. The next day, I didn't go to the university and spent the whole day digesting everything I had seen that night. When I woke up to a knock on the door, I flinched. Someone was pounding on the door insistently. I looked through the peephole and froze. I called the police, got a knife from the kitchen. I closed the curtains and sat on the bed. Time passed slowly. I decided to look through the peephole, but there was no one there. I went out the door and saw a note on the floor. It said that this was not the end. After a long time, I am writing this because someone is knocking on my door with great force.